The Death Guard aren't just traitors. They are the exact opposite of everything the Emperor built humanity to be. The Emperor wanted purity. The Death Guard embraced filth. The Emperor demanded endurance to protect mankind. The Death Guard endure only to spread decay. The Emperor's dream was survival. The Death Guard's gift is eternal death. But how did the Emperor's most resilient sons become his most revolting failure? That story begins on Barbarous. Mortarion and his legion were born in poison. They grew up breathing toxic air, fighting in landscapes where normal men would choke in minutes. The Emperor saw strength in that. The Death Guard were meant to be the wall against corruption, unyielding, unbreakable. A legion that would stand where others would falter. During the Great Crusade, they lived up to it. Death Guard Marines marched through radiation zones, toxic swamps, and the worst hellholes in the galaxy. Where others wore sealed armor, they ripped off their filters and kept going. They prided themselves on purity of body and iron discipline. They became known as the Dusk Raiders. And then the Death Guard, endurance made flesh. And then came the Horus Heresy, trapped in the warp, their ships rotting with disease, Marines choking on their own lungs, Mortarion himself collapsing in agony. It was here the so-called Wall of Purity shattered. Typhus whispered promises. Nurgle opened his arms, and Mortarion bent the knee. The legion that once prided itself on resisting corruption embraced the god of rot. The irony is so sharp it could cut ceramite. From that moment, the Death Guard were transformed. No longer men, no longer Marines, but plague made flesh. They became swollen with disease, bloated, unkillable, every wound festering instead of healing, every death just another form of life. The Emperor's perfect warriors turned into walking proof that his design could be corrupted. And here is why they are the Emperor's worst nightmare. The Night Lords kill with terror. The World Eaters kill with rage. The Thousand Suns kill with sorcery. But the Death Guard, they don't just kill. They unravel everything the Emperor tried to build. A world visited by the Death Guard does not recover. Its people rot. Its rivers turn to sludge. Its soil crawls with plague. Every monument to the Imperium crumbles under mold and rust. Even memory itself is erased, as entire cultures vanish beneath decay. This is not war. It is infection, and infection does not end. The plague wars in Ultramar proved this. Robauta Guilliman fought Mortarion himself. Even with all his genius, Guilliman could not purge Nurgle's corruption. Planets scarred by the Death Guard remain half-dead even after liberation. The rot lingers, it spreads, it laughs at hope. And what of Mortarion? The Emperor's bitter son still rages, still pretends he serves freedom, while rotting as Nurgle's most pitiful slave. He hates the Emperor, he hates Nurgle, but he cannot escape either. And his legion reflects that same curse. The Death Guard are not simply dangerous. They are proof that the Emperor can lose, proof that endurance can become slavery, proof that purity can rot into filth. So what's worse, the Death Guard's plagues, or the truth they embody, that the Emperor's vision for mankind can be twisted into its opposite, that his perfect warriors can become his greatest failure, and that no matter how bright his dream burns, the Death Guard will always march in the shadows, rotting it away. Want more forbidden truths of the 41st millennium? Tap the video on your screen and keep going.